Give me a 1. Give me a 2. Give me a 3. Give me a 4. Give me 5 wins streak in a row. 4 wins, 4-0 in October as we head to November as we play against the Falcons next week. What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another edition here of the Patriots MayeFlower Voyage here of the presented by Patriots Clubhouse. As always, I'm your host, DTN, aka Dow. And then we got our 3 gentlemen here. We got Mr. Schulten, Mr. Lesage, and Mr. Noble. Boys, how are you doing?
Fantastic. I'm excited to talk some football. We had a great 100 sub celebration last week. We had some giveaways. We had a lot of fun. And yeah, just really busy day here for the Patriots. So really excited to just kind of get into it.
How about you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm excited to be talking football again after, a short week. It was wound up being a fun game again, as we've watched pretty much more or less the whole season since the Raiders. I'm really people are buying, players are buying into Vrabel. They are buying into McDaniels. And it seems like for the first time in maybe longer than 6 years, players are happy to be in Foxborough. That was arguably as excited as we've seen a fan base since Tom Brady was here. And it is a beautiful thing to see and to talk about. And yeah, let's go. Let's keep it going.
Outside of the Bruins currently losing, Thomas, how are you doing overall, though?
Yes, the fucking Bruins suck as always, and I am fine. But we're not going to talk about Bruins because they're ass. We're not talking about the Celtics because they're ass. We're here to talk about Patriots football as always, which we won 4 in a row on October, and we'll move on to the November when we face, which, in my opinion, could be one of the top opponents we could face, which is a tough one against the Falcons.
Falcons will be interesting. I wouldn't say it's a tough opponent. Then again, it's one of those weird opponents, if you know what I mean. But we'll save that for the Halloween weekend, if you know what I mean. But as always, guys, if you haven't already, please make sure that you smash the like button, hit subscribe. It's completely free, and it really helps us support the channel. It helps YouTube recommends this channel as one of the go-to Patriots YouTube channels. And if you want to be part of the action, you can always scan the QR code in the top right of the corner. You just have to scan it with your phone. If you're watching it through your iPad or through your TV, you can take your phone out and just scan it. From there, you're entered into the Patriots Clubhouse Discord, where you have to introduce yourself, give us your name, how long you became a Patriots fan for, and who is your favorite player outside of Tom Brady. And you could get into like one of those monthly giveaways we're going to be doing. So it's not going to be every week, but it's more of every month, just so that we can get a flow of things and we get a general idea of what the giveaways are. And as usual, please, and I mean please, post your questions and comments relating to Patriots and football only. So Q for question, C for comment. And that way you can interact with us. And for those newcomers, reminder that trolling is forbidden. We've dealt with a bunch of shit for multiple weeks, and we want to make sure that we are respectful to one another, to the panelists, and to all the fans in the YouTube chat. So we appreciate it. But before we get to talk about the game, let's quickly talk about Red Alert and Foxborough, where we talk about the latest news so far here in Foxborough. So let's start off, before the trades, let's start off with the Marcus Jones contract extension. I want to ask you this, Andy. From a fan's perspective, how do you feel that Marcus Jones has received this contract extension, which is 3 years and $36 million, which is
I was really excited when I first heard it. I mean, he's a defensive captain. He's been balling out in like every game. I still, he had the the kickoff return. I think he's had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns now. And he's made some key defensive stops. I thinking, oh geez, Gonzo's gonna be back and he's gonna be the QB1. Well, Marcus Jones is, I don't want to say giving Gonzo a run for his money, but he is much more than I thought he'd be heading into this season. What with Gonzo and Davis both on the roster, and Gonzo's kind of been. But yeah, I'm thrilled to see him re-upped for $12 million per annum. I entirely think he's worth it.
Yeah, for sure. I think that when we talk about Marcus Jones, I think this is his breakout season. You might think that his rookie season might be his breakout season with like getting a defensive touchdown, offensive touchdown, and special teams touchdown. I think that Mike Vrabel making him a captain, you can see why he's a great guy. Granted that I was scared because of his injuries, and his health for the past 2 seasons. And I think he was also playing out of place, so not out of position. So not playing in the slot and had to be a number 2. I think that Marcus Jones deserves to get that deal. And I think that's the top 3 for a slot corner. I will not be shocked if Marcus Jones is a Pro Bowler slot cornerback or a first team All-Pro slot cornerback, which would actually be huge in his resume. And he could potentially be a Patriots Hall of Famer. But yeah, I love Marcus Jones. I think he will do well for this team, and he could be a huge asset. But let's talk about the 2 trades that happened just an hour ago. So let's start off with the Keion White one. We knew that Keion White hasn't been doing well as we all expected. He was drafted back in 2023 as a second rounder out of Georgia. I think it's Georgia Tech or Old Dominion, but I could be.
It's Georgia Tech.
Okay, it's Georgia Tech. From your perspective, Tyler, excuse me, Thomas. Sorry. What are your thoughts on the Keion White trade, which is a 7th? We trade away Keion White and a 7th rounder to the 49ers in exchange for a 6th rounder. What are your thoughts on that trade?
First and foremost, for mistaking me for Tyler, you get an F. There you go. But anyway, to the trade, I think it's orphan because honestly, I was a fan of Keion White at this point, but again, up and down season, and I was not even a fan of at this point here. And I don't think he has no room. He has no room to be part of the defensive line that we have this season. So most people say, "Oh, that's a dumbass trade. Oh, you literally get screwed." No, this is something called that Mike Vrabel and Elliott Wolf cleaning house for get rid of some people in the old regime.
Yeah, I think that knowing Mike Vrabel, he wants to get rid of some of his old players. No, some of the players from that other regime, and I'm not going to even mention his name, who is currently the coach of UNC's Tar Heels. So I'm not going to even mention his name.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah. So what when we think about trading away Keion White, do you think that we might get an edge rusher through the trade, or do you think we're going to have to wait until the draft, Austin, or maybe through free agency next year?
Yeah, I think there's a strong possibility. I know there was a lot of talks about bringing Kayvon Thibodeau from the Giants, given they have Abdul Carter on one side and Brian Burns on the other. So I'm really interested to see if we do make a move like that. I think it's very unlikely, that we trade away Keion White and Kyle Duggar, and we don't try to bring somebody in to improve that, because now we're missing 2 bodies. And I mean, it's either they felt comfortable in, Braden Swinson being elevated to the active roster to fill in for Keion White, or they're trying to, up this roster for a potential playoff run, playoff berth, maybe winning the AFC East here. But to me, I just think it was good moves because it's I believe the Steelers took on the full contract of Duggar. So, we're free of having to spend that money. And it's always bad with Duggar with, you have a player where his money's up here, but his play is down here. It's really not making sense to even have him anymore. And as much as I love Duggar, and I do definitely wish him the best, it just clearly wasn't working out with him. And same with Keon White. I mean, I think Sunday, for the first time in his career, he was just a healthy scratch. He just sat on the sidelines, didn't go in at all. And I think all signs kind of pointed like he was heading out. And I mean, Kayvon Thibodeau on the top of my mind. Draymond Jones is something that I heard floated around in one of the chats.
Yeah, I heard about Draymond Jones. I don't know much into it.
Yeah, beyond that, I mean, Trey Hendrickson, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett. I mean, I don't feel like anybody's technically off the table. It's more of a what are you willing to give up? I think we're doing right.
From the Titans, because Titans are in a fire sale right now. They're cleaning up house right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Arden Key would make sense. I'm unfamiliar if he has prior experience with Vrabel.
He does have he spent one.
So in that aspect, it's like, it kind of feels like a no-brainer if we could get him for, say, a fifth or maybe one of these 6 round picks that we just acquired. I think that's definitely on the table. I don't know. It's really I'm just interested to see what we're doing, and I think we're making like positive steps to improve the team at the very least.
Yeah. I'll briefly explain like the whole trade meaning. So like for Keon, for like these situations for like Keon White and Kyle Duggar. The reason why they traded away Kyle Duggar to the Steelers is because they just lost Deshaun Elliott after the Sunday Night Football game against the Green Bay Packers. So I think they have safety help. And plus, Kyle Duggar is reuniting with Jabril Peppers, who also was cut from this regime because I don't think that Vrabel wants any of that old regime. And then for Keon White, the reason why he's traded to the San Francisco 49ers is because they're completely shambled right now with a bunch of injuries. The fact that you lost Nick Bosa for the rest of the season. In addition, Bryce Huff, he's going to be out for a little bit. So you need some like edge help in San Francisco. So I think you're basically also Eric's mentioned something like you're freeing up that money to pay Chason, Gonzo, Booty, and Tonga for like future contracts. But I want to ask you this, Andy. With Kyle Duggar going to the Steelers, do you think Steelers are making a huge mistake of getting Kyle Duggar because they're now taking on that contract, which is basically the dead cap is 4 point. So basically, we take on the 4.5 while we save the 10.7 million. But do you think the Steelers are going to be in cap hell with the Kyle Duggar trade?
I do. We talked about this a little bit on the pregame. As we know, Pittsburgh's defense, Peppers is a stud. Duggar is not exactly a pushover, but, their defense especially is getting up there in years. And they have one of the older rosters in the NFL. And I think, taking, what did you say, 10.5 million in dead cap space?
No, 4.5 in dead cap space. We save 10 million.
Okay. Yeah. So that's, I'm not sure what their money circumstances were before they took on that money, but I think it could leave them in a bit of a lousy cap situation given how old their team is. I mean, obviously they can get their team younger through the draft, but for, bringing in potentially younger players who might not be in their prime yet, it's not a very good idea for them.
Okay, so I think that we got a general idea of what the deals are and like how things were going with like the within behind the scenes in the front office. But it's important so the report from Darren Rossini, as far as we know, I think that the Patriots are not going to be done, even though we traded away their 2 liabilities in Kyle Duggar and Keon White. I think that they're not done before the trade deadline, which is November 4th. And that is 2 days after week 9's. Let me take a look when that is. When November 4th. So November 4th, that is going to be on a Tuesday. So basically 2 days after our game against the Falcons. that's when the trade deadline is. So basically, we should get a general idea of who we're going to get and who we're going to sell away. So I want to ask you this, Austin. Are there any more players we could trade it away? Like, because we traded away the two liabilities in Kyle Duggar and Keon White, but you think there's going to be any other players we could trade away?
Yeah, for sure. I know a name that's been floated around a lot was Anthony Jennings, who, me personally, I really like Anthony because I think I've said before, he kind of does a lot of the gritty work that other people don't want to, and he doesn't necessarily need to be, the guy making the sacks or the tackles. Kind of similar to a Barmore almost, where I don't think Barmore's recorded a single sack, but he's definitely set up quite a few sacks for our teammates this year. So I could see potentially him. I'm just scrolling through real quick. Maybe Tavai. I have liked how Tavai has come back and he's actually contributed quite well, but maybe that's somebody where they look at him. He's 29. He's kind of aging. Maybe they want to move off of that and try to bring in somebody like we were talking about before the show down, Logan Wilson from the Bengals, who seems to want out of that team and his contract there. Other than that, I don't unfortunately really see anyone that I'd be okay with parting with unless it was probably a significant upgrade.
Yeah, for sure. I think that there's going to be a lot more players that we can add through before the trade deadline. Especially, I'm looking at safety. I'm looking at pass rusher. I'm looking at cornerback potentially. And I think those are the three big positions we're going to be looking out for. And I think we are good with running back for now because we added a couple of running backs to the practice squad. I don't know the names of it, but I think that we might be okay with a running back for now. But let's get all of this talk out of the way with trades and whatnot, and let's focus on the game. So to start off, Thomas, I want to ask you this. Why the hell have the Patriots been starting off slow defensively?
It's the pass defense. It's legit the pass defense because we just allowed big plays from mid-tier quarterbacks, like for example, freaking Dylan Gabriel, who literally passed one of the big bombs to, if I could get to their freaking players right here,
Harold Fannin.
Harold Fannin, yes. Njoku, Jeremiah Thrash, Dylan Simpson, and yeah, those are the main those four main guys they could go to. We have not heard of Judy. We have not heard of Bond. We have not heard of freaking anyone else on the roster for the Browns. That we just had to stop here. But the pass defense sucks the first half.
Any ways we can improve this pass defense? Because if we can beat the if we do the same shit against the Falcons and the Bucs moving forward, how can we improve this pass defense?
Just make some plays at this point. Be aggressive at this point. Just go after the ball, just like we saw for Jalen Hawkins, for crying out loud. And you don't get aggressive on the pass defense. Like for example, the Falcons, they have good receivers on their group, including freaking what's his name? Drake London. Yeah, Drake London, who's used to be from one of my favorite college football teams, Southern Cal, and most important, and Kyle Pitts. People do not even talk about Kyle Pitts because the people are going trash because he sucks. He does not suck. I watch him play. He's a good fucking player, and we cannot stop. And we cannot stop the fucking pass against the Falcons and against the Bucs, who, in my opinion, is amongst the top 3 best teams in the NFC. We cannot win against good teams in this league.
That makes sense. Actually, I want to ask you this, Andy, and sorry if I get a little off topic, but the fact that we are 4-0 in October, and as we're heading into November, and usually November is where real football start. How important is it to get 4-0 in October as we head over to November?
It's really important, man. I mean, looking at this, 6-2. I can't say I expected the Pats to be at this point by now. I thought losses against Miami and Buffalo. I had, at least one of Vegas or Pittsburgh penned in as a win. I was talking about this with a buddy yesterday, and I said, okay, maybe we'll be talking 4-3, or not 4-3, 4. I can't even do math right now. 5-3. Here we are talking 6-2. And I think it's really important to head into this stretch of games that's now Atlanta, Tampa Bay, and the Giants, if I'm not mistaken.
Jets.
And
Bengals,
the Jets.
and then Giants before the bye.
And okay. Yeah, especially this next 2-game stretch. I realize Atlanta just, laid an egg against Miami, but count on them to, be firing off on all cylinders this coming Sunday. I mean, you're talking Drake London, you're talking Kyle Pitts, you're talking Bijan Robinson. If Michael Penix is quarterback and I am Mike Vrabel, I am looking to step up that flipping pass defense. Our run defense has been great, and Penix is a mobile quarterback. But I think I just went off on a little tangent there. I know, but yeah, it's important to have that 4-0 record, and I think this is not a team like during the dynasty. It's not a team looking at the games they have won. It is a team. They are a team looking forward to what's coming, and they've left Cleveland and they're on to Atlanta, and then they'll be on to Tampa Bay, and they have the right mindset to be in every one of these games, guys. And I think that, but yeah, I mean, considering this next 3-4 game stretch, I think that winning streak is key. I mean, not obviously that you want to lose these upcoming games, but you have the wiggle room to maybe drop one.
Yeah. Now we got a general idea, because currently we are 5, because ever since that Steelers game we have been 5-0 and 4-0 within the month of October. And generally October we get our asses kicked. Like we were usually like 1-3 at least, and it's typically an embarrassment when you think about it. Like we were never good in October, except for maybe like 2022, where we beat the Lions, beat the Browns, lose to the Bears, but managed to beat the Jets. So I wouldn't count 2022, but the last 2 seasons, we usually do a horrific job in October. But this year, it's nice to come out strong going 4-0, especially as we head into November, where that's where the football season starts. As Bill Belichick always says, granted I said his name, November and December are usually like the months where the season officially starts. Generally, like September and October are usually like are still like the extension of the preseason. But as we head to November and December, and where the playoff picture starts to formulate, that these are where the games are going to be important. It doesn't matter like what the schedule looks like. You got to win these games. This is where you're going to see what the Patriots team looks like heading into November and December. But let's now head over to the quarterback position. Let's talk about Drake Maye for right now. But I want to ask you this, Austin. This is Drake Maye's first interception since Week 3 against the Steelers. In spite of that interception, he looked really well. He had another impressive quarterback rating. I don't remember exactly. I bet you it's above 100. 200 plus yards and 3 touchdowns. Did that interception mean anything, Austin? Or basically it was just like a careless play from Drake Maye, but still managed to throw bombs and make plays?
Yeah, I think if anything, it just shows the resilience of Drake Maye to be able to make a mistake and bounce back, next drive and just act like nothing happened. He even kind of joked at it, saying like, oh, I didn't think the defender could jump that high. I think a lot of it too is like him having to constantly move around in the pocket. He's feeling hurried. He's feeling the pressure. You got Myles Garrett opposite of him, breathing down his neck nearly every play. He had 5 sacks, which ties Myles Garrett's career high. So the fact Drake May was, he unfortunately threw the interception to Carson Schlesinger, but really bounced back. I mean, 135.8 passer rating, 75% completion rating, almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like, you almost can't ask for better play, and that's what you want out of a quarterback too. Like, you can tell when a quarterback's on a hot streak and they're playing well is because when they do make a mistake, because inevitably everybody is going to make a mistake at some point. You can't be perfect forever. They show the will and the resilience to be able to bounce back and act like nothing happened. That's exactly what he did there.
Yeah, exactly. I think that Drake May had, in time and time again, he had another impressive game. Outside of that interception, just because the defense was so good. It's like Jim Schwartz's defense, I think that's what helped shaped this defense, because under Joe Woods, I think that's the other defensive coordinator, the Browns defense looked abysmal, even with Myles Garrett. But with Jim Schwartz, ever since like 2023, I think that's when he was hired as the defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, the defense has been top 5 in so many categories: rushing, defense, points allowed, yards allowed. When you think about it, it's crazy when you think about it. Like, you're going up against the number 1 defense per PFF in the NFL. That's like crazy. And you did all of that. And you blew out 32-19, 32-13. That is a feat. That it's so crazy. But then again, we've seen this before. Browns are winless when they are away. Like, they got their asses blown by the Baltimore Ravens, by the Detroit Lions. When they go to these away games, they suck. At home, they are okay. But I want to ask you this, Thomas. I'm looking at these stats right now. Even though we're 32 and 13, excuse me. And we won by 19 points. But the team was 3-11, 27% on third down, and 2 out of 6 in the red zone. And they have a lot to clean up. How can the Patriots clean up all of this as they place against Atlanta? And how can they fix the red zone and the third down?
That I don't know for sure. They gotta fix the run game here, because all I know is the Falcons defense. Not gonna lie. When I watched the game against the Bills, you need to realize the defense is gonna get the defense may not be top 10 or 15, but they're aggressive. Their defense is wicked aggressive. I believe they still got Jesse Bates.
They still have Jesse Bates.
Yeah, they got Bates, who's probably, in my opinion, a top 15, top 10 secondary player in the league, in my opinion. He's still a good player. And you also have to deal with some of the defenders that we had to go against here. Some of the receivers we had to watch out for, receivers that our players need to watch out for when we go against the Falcons. And, yeah, I'm going to go off topic about Bijan Robinson here, the guy we had to face. He has his own mustard brand. So,
and Bijan Robinson, going up against the worst defense, which is the Miami Dolphins, got shut out. So this is something to look at while we watch tape. But then again, it can happen anything. Also, Gerard said Bates was injured this past week, even though it wasn't serious. So we will find out about these injury reports by Friday, by Halloween. So we'll talk about that later. But wait, what is it, Thomas?
Yeah, this is the website for Bijan Robinson's mustard brand, which is Bijan Mustardson.
Bijan Mustardson. That's crazy. That's really crazy.
Yeah. That is his own mustard brand. Like his week 8 game bottle, $150, triple option, which is the regular mustard, honey mustard, and the Dijon mustard, $15.97.
Our first sponsor. Thanks, Tyler. Our first sponsor. I wish it was our first sponsor.
I know. We had to go against a guy who got his own mustard brand. So kudos to freaking Bijan for that, because I love mustard.
But I'm going to ask you this, Andy, continuing with the quarterback discussion.
Yeah.
The fact that Drake May threw for 200 plus yards, had a quarterback rating above 100, that ties games consecutively next to Patrick Mahomes. Is he currently in the race for MVP at this point? Because I hear a lot of background noises, for example, Cam Newton being salty because he didn't have the same success that he haven't had the same progress, I would say, when he had that stint with New England. So do you think that Drake Maye is making a case that he's going to be MVP?
I 100% believe that. And I commented about what is wrong with Cam Newton earlier, and I completely agree with you, Dow, on the saltiness. I mean, here he is saying this quarterback is barely in his second year. He started in game 6 last season, and here he is finding himself on lists with Tom Brady, with Pat Mahomes, with Aaron Rodgers. And this is in this game, he joined only those 3 guys and Peyton Manning as the only quarterbacks to, I believe it's a triple-digit passer rating, a triple-digit QBR, triple-digit passer rating, north of 200 yards passing, and some other stat in 6 straight games or 7 straight games, however long it's been. And I definitely believe he is in the MVP conversation. I mean, you do not throw for nearly 300 yards against the best defense in the league. Granted, as Thomas, I believe, alluded to, they have been quite poor on the road. But I believe he's at this scant midpoint in the MVP conversation with potentially Pat Mahomes, with potentially Danny Dimes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. You can't throw them out either. I mean, people are talking about Jonathan Taylor. When is a running back ever going to win the MVP? As they were saying
the last time a running back won MVP was Adrian Peterson. So
which was
2012.
2012. All right, thank you. Yeah, as they were saying on the radio, Bijan couldn't do Bijan couldn't. Well, Saquon Barkley couldn't do it. Derrick Henry couldn't do it. Jonathan Taylor, yeah, he's
Saquon couldn't do it. Christian couldn't do it.
Correct.
Crazy. Eric Mason.
Yeah, I think he is definitely in the MVP conversation, in my opinion.
But what about Baker Mayfield? Like, people have been talking about Baker Mayfield and the potential to be MVP conversation. Like, I do see Baker Mayfield the MVP conversation because honestly, like the times he does not have his own targets with him at this point, he managed to play good football without their main wide receivers, including Evans, including one of their best running backs, Bucky Irving, without another one of their star receivers, Chris Godwin. Without those guys here, he still balled out. You cannot count Baker Mayfield out in this conversation.
I completely agree with Eric's comment here. The media will spin him as a pro. Not so much the media, but the NFL will spin him as a product of the schedule. I 100% believe that. I mean, we could beat the Bills twice. We could beat the Buccaneers, and he still will not win MVP despite all these amazing numbers because of a quote soft schedule. It's like, look at what we did with supposed soft schedules the past couple of years. We shat.
Yeah, and this time we're blowing out teams. Like, here's the thing. I'm going to make this brief, and we're going to get to the running backs. If the New England Patriots beat the Bucs, beat the Bills again, go undefeated in the division, and beat the Baltimore Ravens Week 16 because Lamar is going to be back, I better hear a lot of people saying that Drake Maye is making a case that he's the MVP. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing panelists saying that, Drake Maye is a product of this. Look at the schedule next year. And I'm going to briefly say the schedule next year. We're facing the AFC West. We're facing the NFC North. and one team from the NFC West. If Drake May can do all of that next year, I'm going to be looking at all of these fake fans and all these bandwagons saying, oh, he's a product of this, and they can go sit in that corner. That's all I'm going to say, but
I would like to touch on something too. Like a lot of people don't realize like how drastic of an improvement Drake May has made. And yeah, maybe you attribute, 50% of it to, well, I would say 50% of it probably has to go to Vrabel. Probably 25% of that is Josh McDaniels, and the other 25% is Drake May and his ability to elevate the football team. If we take a look at 2024 stats, he played in 13 games and he had, 2,200 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, a QBR of 80 or QBR of 55 and a quarterback rating at 88. Keep in mind, 13 games played last year. In 8 games played this year, he's almost eclipsed the amount of yards he's passed for, has almost a 10% better completion percentage, has thrown 60 less passes, has tied the same amount of touchdowns in 5 less games, has 7 less picks in that time, and has been sacked a lot less, and his quarterback rating is a 76.3 and his QBR is a 76.3 and his rating is 118.7. That is a drastic improvement. And I mean, there's a possibility he finishes the season with almost 5,000 yards or more, maybe plus 30 touchdowns, subpar 10 picks. Like he's playing with that high efficiency. And you look at these charts too, when you're scrolling through social media, half the time you don't even know what the hell the chart is. You just see Drake May's name all the way at the top right corner of that damn chart. And you can look at any chart. I don't know how you have an MVP conversation and Drake May isn't in it. I think NFL even posted a graphic and it's Drake May, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Jonathan Taylor. Those are the 4 front runners right now voted upon by analysts, basically.
Yeah, I did see that, yeah.
We'll see how it continues, but he's on a historic pace, honestly.
Yeah,
and it's not so much that people believe that May is a product of this schedule. They believe that the Pats as a whole are a product of this schedule. Like they were saying earlier, I mean, Drake May is doing this without a Jamar Chase, without a DK Metcalf, without even a Deebo Samuel. He's got a 31-year-old Stephon Diggs who was out there playing like he didn't tear his ACL a year ago. He's got Keyshawn Boutte, who was having a breakout season, I'm going to say. The kid is something special. And next year, we've got Denver. We've got Kansas City. We've got Detroit. Next year's schedule is going to be a bear. But seeing, even through 8 games, what these Vrabel May Patriots have done, the sky's the limit. Really, really.
Yeah. And before we head into the running back topic, those who haven't clicked the like and subscribe yet, please make sure that we click the like button and click subscribe. It helps gets the algorithm going. It helps YouTube recommend this channel as one of the most reliable YouTube channels to look out for. And if you haven't already, scan the QR code, which is in the top right corner. That QR code will send you to our Patriots Clubhouse Discord. And I will remember to post that Discord link in the description down below. I will remember to do that at the end of the show. So please click the subscribe button, click the like button, turn on these notifications, share this with all your friends, and join the Patriots Clubhouse Discord, where we're going to talk a whole bunch of shit relating to the Patriots, and you can be part of our monthly giveaways. That's my little announcement. So
win a card from Austin, guys.
Yes, for sure, because we gave away 7 different cards from Austin's collection. And we're going to do this every month. So all you got to do, click the like, click the subscribe button, and join the Clubhouse Discord server. You don't want to miss out. But let's now head over to the running backs, Austin. Let's start off with TreVeyon Henderson, who I think this is his breakout game. outside of that fumble, what were your thoughts on like the schemes from Josh McDaniels and how like Travion Henderson took advantage of these plays?
Yeah, for sure. Travion Henderson definitely looked to be the better back Sunday. He kind of outpaced Ramondre for the game. It kind of seemed like they were rocking with him early too. I think it was just a decision by the coaching staff because they really valued his speed against what seemed to be kind of a slow Cleveland front. And, he took advantage of that. And yeah, of course he did have that fumble in the red zone, unfortunately, which does suck because I know a lot of people are hyping up Travion as like, oh, he never fumbled in college. He's never going to fumble in the NFL. The pros are a completely different game. For anybody to have that unrealistic expectation, you got to check yourself because anything can happen any given Sunday. I'm not going to hold that against him. I'm just going to say, hey, you know what you need to do? You got to hold on to the football. But he showed some flashes. He showed that he could, turn a corner and just like kind of turn on the Jets. He picked up multiple first downs off of, 8+ yard rushes. So definitely very promising stuff to look forward to. It's just a matter of, will we continue to see this uptake or is it going to go back to the Ramondre show next week? It just kind of depends. I am concerned with the front of James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker that we're going to have to go against. So that could affect, who we're going to use. But, yeah, I was very happy with his production this past Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I think we lost you a little bit, but do you think that this running game has improved a lot, or do you still want to see more out of it as we head into week 9 against the Atlanta Falcons?
Oh, we definitely have to see more out of it. I mean, this is really just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, if I've been preaching it all season, basically, if we're going to make a run for the playoffs, we have to really get this run game hammered down, and all that's going to do is open up every other facet of the offense. But you really have to hammer the run game down and, get both these guys going. It's got to be, a two-headed monster. It can't just be the Ramondre show. It can't just be the Travion show, just plainly because they've proven as of late that, it's taking multiple backs. Like, really, there's no one clear back that's continued to run away with it. So, yeah, let's just keep pounding the rock, scheming it up properly. I trust McDaniels. I trust Doug Marrone to get the offensive line blocking properly. And, let's have another solid run game against, a pretty solid defense in the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, for sure. Also, when we talk about this, going back to a Drake May comment, on the ground, though, I'll ask you this, Thomas. Do you think that Drake May has improved of sliding when he gets does he do a good job of sliding as he improves every single week?
75% there, but he needs to continue sliding more and without getting bad hits. It's just people worry about Drake May because he almost got concussed against the Titans. So I would say this: he's like 75% there. He just needs to progress more when it comes to sliding on the field.
Yeah, for sure. I think this game has improved a lot because I heard if you saw the Josh McDaniels mic'd up video, you can hear him saying slide, Drake May slide, and because that way you don't get concussed, you don't get hit in the most precarious way or in a more aggressive way. So I think we're in a step in the right direction after that scary hit that Drake May had against the Tennessee Titans, which was in the moment, and you hate seeing that as a fan, but I hope it improves for Drake May because the last thing you want to see is getting your franchise quarterback killed, and you don't want to see that. But let's now head over to the wide receivers. Well, the receivers in total, since it's National Tight Ends Day 2 days ago. But more importantly, I want to ask you this, Andy. How does it feel to see Stephon Diggs getting his first touchdown as a New England Patriot? And you're muted. Okay.
Muted.
I unmuted.
Okay, just making sure.
I was driving to work and I heard touchdown Patriots Stephon Diggs, 1 yard touchdown. Yes, he finally did it. I've been waiting since the Buffalo game for him to get that score, and he finally did. And it was for a short pass from Drake May, it was a pretty good one too. I think he got that over a defender if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I mean, hats off to Stephon Diggs. I mean, the guy is balling out at 31 a year after an ACL, and I didn't see it coming. He's thrown for, I mean, yeah, he only caught for like 15 yards on Sunday, but if I just take a quick look at his regulars, go ahead.
It's 14.
14. All right. Thanks for the correction, Thomas. If I just take a quick look at his stats, Stephon Diggs. So yeah, he has thrown for a total caught. He has, there I go, 470 total receiving yards, which for a 31-year-old through 8 games is pretty damn good. The average is 11.2. 42 total receptions for 470, average of 11.2 along of 33. So a doff of the cap to Mr. Stephon Diggs for his first score as a New England Patriot.
Another question, Andy. Back to the wide receivers. How does it feel to see Matt Collins stepping up, I think this is like one of his best games as a New England Patriot, and also Kayshon Boutte getting another touchdown. Like, how do you feel about Kayshon Boutte and Matt Collins having their impressive games?
I loved seeing what I saw from Matt Collins. I mean, I was leery of that signing to begin with, and then I have a buddy at work who said his mom's side is from Rochester, and they're all Bills fans, and they were really upset when he left Buffalo for New England. And the main reason was because he was such a red zone threat out there. He hasn't proven to be a red zone threat here, not too much yet, but that was a couple of really nice, open field catches he had the other day. So I was really happy to see that. And, Kayshon is just out there picking up right where he left off last year. I mean, to think that there was talk of trading him this summer, even during training camp. And I'm like, he is possibly the last guy on offense outside of Drake May and Hunter Henry that I'd trade. I mean, he has a potential to be, he could be your wide receiver 1, and he's close to being a wide receiver 1 right now. And that touchdown catch, holy crap. I unfortunately do not, if one of you guys could help me with the specifics, I don't have them in front of me, but yeah, I do remember the announcement of that catch, and it was really, really something to behold.
Also, to clarify something before we, I think one more question is Austin Hooper and also Hunter Henry having their tight end day. Hunter Henry getting another touchdown, we all knew about that because I think it's going to be a huge asset moving forward. But Austin Hooper making these critical plays. How do you feel about Austin Hooper being another reliable tight end for the team?
That's a testament to Josh McDaniels scheming him open. I mean, he's always done wonders with 2 tight end sets. He did that when, obviously, for many years under Brady, he did it with Mac Jones, and now he is doing it with Drake May. And to think there are people in the media who still won't give Josh McDaniels his flowers. I mean, we tried 2 tight end sets with Gesicki a couple of years ago, and I really hoped it would work. It did not, needless to say. And
what about Jonnu Smith?
What about Jonnu Smith?
No, because we thought we would utilize him too.
We misused him, as we've seen the past couple of years. But yeah, I love how May's been spreading the ball around not only between the 2 tight ends, Hooper and Henry, but the receivers. I mean, spreading them out. It's not predictable. It's not predictable what I've been complaining about the past 3 years. It's Boutte. It's Douglas. Douglas had another good game. It's a pitch to the running back. It's Diggs. It's, spreading the ball around, and it's a beautiful thing to to be witnessing right now as a Pats fan.
Also, to clarify, Tyler, about something, please make sure that you click the like button, click subscribe if you haven't already. But he says, I think that hold on, let me show my screen for a second. But I think that's the most likes we've gone on a live stream. We just want to say thank you for everyone that keeps tuning in and supporting the channel. Exactly. But to clarify something, I think this is not the most like. The most like, if I'm looking at my channel, we had a 20 liked stream. And that was with me and Andy doing the Kyle Williams film breakdown 3 months ago. So if you click the like button a lot more, this channel should be recommended for Patriots fans, because I'm sick and tired of seeing a lot of Bills fans on my page, a lot of Jets content creators on my page, and a couple of Dolphins fans are on our page. I want to see more, and I mean more Patriots content from various Patriots YouTube channels. We need to see more of that, because we don't get the recognition like Bills getting all this credit, Jets being the biggest like content creation, and then they still suck. And then Dolphins, like, where is the love from the Patriots? We need some of that love. So please click that like button so we can tie that with that other live stream if possible. But we appreciate
We've even got a catchy name. I mean, the MayeFlower, the Voyage of a MayeFlower. Come on. And Patriots Clubhouse, I love too. Who doesn't want to hop aboard the MayeFlower? I mean, let's go.
Yeah. Coming from my brain, I created the MayeFlower Voyage. Austin created I technically created the Patriots Clubhouse, and Austin wanted me to use it as a channel, for goodness sakes. So yeah, it would be nice if you click the like button, click the subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications, and please share that with your friends, and also join our Discord server by scanning this QR code. But what is it, Thomas?
It's a correction at this point. That Tyler said that's the most likes during the stream, not the end of it.
Oh, during the stream. You are correct. You are correct, Thomas. You are correct. But I want to ask you this, Thomas. Let's talk about the offensive line. Let's talk about the offensive line for a second. I think that this is by far one of Will Campbell's horrible performances, but I think we all know why. Do you think that Will Campbell faced his ultimate test when he went up against Myles Garrett, or do you think that's just fans overreacting like usual?
Fans are overreacting at this point. Like, come on. Like, what do you expect? You're going against the best pass rusher in the fucking league out of Myles Garrett. What do you expect? What do you expect? What do you expect the offensive line to do? Protect Drake May a lot? Like, he got sacked 5 times. Is it the offensive line's fault that they do that? No, absolutely not. Yeah, sure, we allow 5, 6 sacks on this game in general. 5 of them mostly on Garrett. Like, no, I don't blame them for that. For allow that. They did a good game in the second half to just allowed less sacks in the second half. Garrett is his own freaking beast. But if I would give a grade for this offensive line here, despite those 6 sacks, 5 of those mainly by Garrett, if I would do this for the second half here, I say it like a low B or a B minus or a B. They still look good, despite the amount of sacks that Drake May just got hit from here. Like Campbell, yes, this is his worst performance because what do you expect? You're going against Myles Garrett. Jarrett Wilson, I mean, yeah, again, what do you expect? It's Garrett Wilson. It's Myles Garrett. And the other offensive line. What do you want them to do? I'm not going to give the offensive line the biggest loser of this game because A, you're going against Myles Garrett, which is the toughest test in your entire career. What do you want them to do? What the hell you want them to do? Do you want them to, like, do you want to slander them here? No! I'm sorry. Like, the fans are overreacting at this point. Like, me? Yeah, I am pissed off about the offensive line to allow 5 sacks, mainly on Garrett. But still, they did not lose us this game. And most importantly, They're not the losers of this freaking game. They're not the losers of this as an offense as a whole. Like, what do you want them to do? They're going to go against Myles Garrett and the Browns defense. In my opinion, the second best rush defense in the damn league. Probably a top 5 defense in the damn National Football League. What do you want them to do?
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating when we talk about it. Like 2 sacks and 2 pressures on Campbell. It's like what he said in his press conference. If you allow a sack every single game, you're bound to work at Amazon. And this is not, and saying that Will Campbell, this is his rookie season. He is 21 years old, about the same age as me, technically. So I still have high hopes for this young guy. I still have hopes that he could be an all-pro caliber player. I think that Will Campbell, as time goes on, they can improve. Like, you're not going to make Will Campbell, as NJ alluded to, Joe Tooney. Like Joe Tooney, he was a left tackle at NC State.
Logan Mankins.
Over to left guard. Well, look what happened. Will Campbell, no matter if he's a left tackle or left guard, he will be an all-pro caliber offensive lineman, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, like, I get. What do you want him to do against the Browns defense? Like, 2 sacks, 2 pressures, according to frickin' Tyler on this chat here. 2 sacks, 2 pressures on Campbell when they go against the defense and Myles Garrett in general. What do you want Campbell to do? Like, he's 21 years of age. He's a fucking rookie. Yes, this is the biggest test for him here, and he freaking lost it. Like, do I say, oh, Will Campbell is my loser of the game against the Browns? No! What do you want him to do? And I'm not gonna dump him and even the offensive line for allow those 6 sacks from the Browns defense. Like, I get. What do you want them to do? This is the toughest test we had against the Browns defense, second best rush defense in the damn league, and most importantly, might be a top 5 defense in the whole conference and possibly in the National Football League. Like, what do you want What do you want the offensive line to do? Like, they can't protect the quarterback all the time. Like, even though I wanted to protect Drake May all the time. Like, dude, the offensive line, like, when we go against the tougher defenses, like now, like we're going against the Falcons and against the Bucks, which, in my opinion, is going to be another tough test for the Patriots. And knowing everyone's luck here to say, oh, we can beat the Bucks here. I'm sorry, I don't believe that we can beat the Bucks. If this defense, not with Baker playing well, not with this defense playing well here at this point, but to get to the point, what do you want the offensive line to do against the Browns on last Sunday? Allow 6 sacks, 5 of them mostly on Garrett. Like, what do you want them to do at this point? Jarrett Wilson did his job. Will Campbell did his job. He did, and the offensive line did their job. And you know who also did his job at this point? Morgan Moses. We did not even give Morgan Moses his damn flowers. The right side of the offensive line did better than what we expect.
Right.
Moses protect the quarterback on the right side the right way. And I know he's like up his age. Still, if we don't have anything on the protection of the right side of the offensive line, what do you want them to do?
Yeah, it's hard when you think about it, especially when you have so much expectations, especially from the Boston fan base. It's so hard when you talk about it, but I agree. It's so frustrating from the fan base, like from the 5% or 10% of the fan base who realistically think about this team. Like, it's so hard when you think about it. Like, I think this team will progress. Like, this is like, we're not like the youngest team, but at least we're developing our players properly. If we continue to hit on the damn draft and we're picking up players who have chips on their shoulders, I'm telling you, this team will look impressive moving forward. But yeah, we have our little rant here on our offensive line. So yeah, I think that, granted that there are some holes, there's some weak links in the offensive line that could like show up, like Michael Onwenu and Garrett Bradbury, but we're going up against James Pierce. We're going up against Jalen Walker. So I think that this is going to be another test. But then again, anything can happen against the Falcons because they are like hot and cold, and they just got their asses kicked by the Dolphins, which we didn't expect it, but
Yeah, the fact they got Kirk Cousins as their quarterback.
that is true, and they lost Drake London. But let's now shift over to the defense. Let's quickly shift over to the defense. Let's start with this run defense from this defensive line. Let's start there. The Patriots, for the 8th week in a row, still haven't allowed a running back to rush for over 50 yards, minus Josh Allen because that doesn't count. This is who we stopped. Ashton Jeanty to 38 yards. Devon Achane, 30 yards. Jalen Warren, 47 yards. Chuba Hubbard for 49 yards. James Cook for 49 yards. Alvin Kamara for 30 yards. Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard collectively for 40 yards. And Quinshon Judkins for 19 yards. The only leading wide receiver, a leading running back, was Malachi Corley. 1 carry for 31 yards. What does it say, Andy, about this defensive line?
Not holding every running back we've faced to under 50 yards is saying this is a top 5 defensive line in the NFL. I mean, everybody was talking Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If this Cleveland Browns offense gets going, it will be because of Quinshon Judkins. And what the Patriots defense needs to do is do what they've done the first 7 weeks. Step up and stop the run. As you just said, Dow, we held that sucker to 19 yards. I believe he the leading rookie rusher, if I'm not mistaken.
Who's the leading? Let me look up who is the leading. I'm just going to quickly look this up. Leading rookie running back. Leading rookie running back. Yes, it is Quinshon Judkins. With leading rookie running back in the NFL in rushing yards, 486, 5 rushing touchdowns, 29 rushing first downs. Outperforming Ashton Jeanty, Cam Scatterbo, and Bill Krosky Merritt.
And we held that sucker to 19 yards. I mean, this defensive line, Kyrie's Tonga, Milton Williams. Milton Williams busted a couple of fucking plays on Sunday. Christian Barmore, I mean, that whole thing with Christian Barmore was a little weird. He's been fairly solid too this season. So yeah, that defensive line is no joke. I mean, yeah, and we got Bijan Robinson coming up. So yeah, I was I've been beyond happy to see how our defensive front's been playing.
Yeah, both. We're going up against not just Bijan Robinson, but I think if Bijan Robinson is not going to be used a lot, I think we're going to see a lot of Tyler Algier too. So it's really important that we stop both of them. So it's not just Bijan and it's just not Algier. It's both of them. So that's going to be really important.
They have a 2-pronged attack down there. Yeah.
Yes, they do. So I want to ask you, going back to the Christian Barmore thing, I'll ask you this, Austin. Why do you think Mike Vrabel make the right decision of sitting for benching Christian Barmore, for like the first quarter, because it was reported that he had some like issues, if I'm not mistaken. Because if I'm from what I remember from Andrew Callahan, he said that he didn't speak to the media and he left. So what do you think Mike Vrabel did a great job of benching Christian Barmore during the first quarter?
I would like to spin it in a way where it's not so much him doing a great job, it's just holding him accountable. Clearly, he did something that either rubbed Vrabel the wrong way or rubbed one of the coaching staff the wrong way, and it was brought up to Vrabel's attention. And, he's just holding Christian Barmore accountable. That's something that Vrabel has preached day one since stepping into this head coaching role is, he's going to hold these players accountable to what they do on, off the field. And, at the end of the day, we hate to see one of our best players, sit in the bench. But if you are going to be disciplinary towards a player, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. You sit him first quarter, and then you let him back in the damn game. You let him get he was making impact plays once he was back in. You could tell he really wanted to be in there. It just shows that he's not going to let his players get away with this stuff. In turn, you look at Malcolm Butler, we're still sitting here going, why the hell did he never play in that Super Bowl? Vrabel's doing it right. Yeah, the person fucked up, but he's holding them accountable. They understand what they did. He held them out for what he felt was, the appropriate time. And he learned his lesson. He got in there and he made some plays. And that's how it should be. And I don't have anything against Vrabel for doing that.
No, neither do I. Like Austin, like you just alluded to, I loved your point on Malcolm Butler because Vrabel players need, like I worked with kids, we always talked about constructive criticism, and that is what Vrabel does. He doesn't, in the middle of a flipping game, pull the player aside and start bitching him out on the sidelines the way Belichick did. He'll take him aside and it's like, okay, you rubbed me the wrong way, you rubbed Zach the wrong way, or Josh or whomever. And, yeah, you might have done something wrong, and, we're here to work it out. I'm your coach. I'm not your mean principal who's going to pull you out of the game if you do something wrong, and you're never going to get a concrete reason as to why. So yes, Vrabel is, and this is one of the reasons I wanted him, is the way he handles players.
Yeah, for sure. I think that is really important, especially if it was like an issue last season, like with Jerron Mayo as our head coach. Oh, it would have been like hell. Like it would have gone. Oh, it would have gone off rails. Like if Jerron Mayo was like this, like everything would have been really bad at this point. But yeah, I think that we'll take care of that. But let's talk about that pass rush though. I couldn't tell if we got only one sack because that was what I wouldn't say one of the most abysmal performances, but it could have been a lot better because we only got one sack. And I'll ask you this, Sandy. What the hell happened? Only getting one sack off of Dylan Gabriel against one of the worst offensive lines, going up against one of the worst offenses, the worst offense in the league. We should have got more sacks onto Dylan Gabriel. Granted, we got 2 takeaways, but it should have been better than that. If we could have got like more sacks, like 9 sacks, like we did to Caleb Williams. Like, what the heck happened to the pass rush?
Yeah, I just can't. Yeah, that was really weird, and I'm actually trying to look through who got that sack. I remember Spillane got who?
Jennings.
It was Jennings. Oh, geez, thank you. Yeah.
It's Jennings.
I knew Spillane got the pick. All right, thanks, guys. But yeah, that pass rush. I mean, oh, geez. Yeah, it was kind of. I mean, the fact that, and Dylan Gabriel's not that mobile either. So yeah, I don't know what really. It's a mystery to me as to what happened. I mean, we got 2 picks, Spillane and Hawkins, but other than a couple of picks and 1 sack, yeah, our pass rush was really not very good. It was, Gabriel just not finding open receivers when they were there is one of the reasons we won. So yeah, that's something they're going to need to work on for this game, because it's not, I mean, even if Kirk Cousins plays, it's not a game where you'll be able to get away with, 1 sack on the quarterback when you got guys like Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts. You got more of a pass catcher. You got more of a good hassle of pass catchers down there in Atlanta than you do in Cleveland. And 1 sack isn't going to cut it.
Yeah, even though I think Dylan Gabriel did a great job of throwing the ball away, it didn't matter. Like Tyler said it himself, they wanted the coverage to beat Gabriel, and I think that's what we saw from like the pass coverage. But yeah, let's talk about the pass coverage, for example.
It was quite a bit of ball hawk. It was quite a bit of ball hawking. I mean, which was nice, but yeah, the pass rushes.
Let's talk about those 2 takeaways. I want to ask you this, Thomas. What were your thoughts on those 2 takeaways? One from Spillane and that impressive one-handed interception from Jalen Hawkins. What were your thoughts of those two takeaways?
Spillane, most productive player we ever had on free agency. But Jalen Hawkins, man, that interception he had. My dad did not celebrate that interception because he was questioning if he is down or not at this point. Who fucking cares? My brother and I will celebrate. That is probably interception of the year for Patriots football, without a doubt. Hawkins literally did that. I'm sorry to make this pun. He ball hawked that football. No pun intended. The ball Hawkins. But back to Spillane here. That, again, in my opinion, most productive defensive player we ever had in this defense. It is probably the most improved guy we ever had, and I do say he did earn his money's worth when it comes to play for this team. So those takeaways: Spillane, most deserved. Hawkins, interception of the year for 2025, 2026 for Patriots football.
Yeah, for sure. I love that play. People will say otherwise, that if he was down or not, or if the ball touched the ground, but nevertheless, Jalen Hawkins coming back from that injury. I don't know which injury it was particularly, but I think that was a great play in my opinion. That's what you need when you have like free safeties. No wonder why Mike Vrabel got rid of Peppers at Duggar, because they're more like heavy hitters, and we want guys who are good in coverage. Which is why we drafted Greg Woodson in the draft. And I think that if we get like a hard-hitting safety, maybe at least one strong safety, because we have at least multiple free safeties, I think that it's beautiful when we do a great job in the pass coverage. But let's end it off with like the cornerbacks, because oh my God. Everybody's Davis. I think that I want to ask you this, Austin. I think the reason why they're targeting Davis, because I knew Christian Gonzalez had another great day. He was locking down Jerry Jeudy like there were like 0 completions when Gonzo was targeted 7 times. What were your thoughts on like why Davis was getting targeted most and not making the most of his like opportunities?
Yeah, I just feel like Carlton Davis hasn't really stepped into his own yet on this Patriots team. We brought him here, obviously, 3 years, $60 million, because he came off of a very strong year in Detroit, and then previously he obviously played with Tom Brady on that Super Bowl team for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He got derailed a bit last year because of a broken jaw, which kept him out past, so he got injured week 14. So he spent most of the offseason kind of like recovering from that. I honestly don't know if it's like nagging injuries. It feels like every time I look up at the TV, he's heading to the medical tent. So I don't know if it's an injury thing or I just don't know. He just hasn't picked up game speed, it feels like. And yeah, Gonzo has been completely shut down. Marcus Jones has been better than Carlton Davis. I don't think any of us would have said that at the beginning of the year, which is what's crazy. So I don't know. Carlton definitely needs to step up. I don't think we're looking at, trading him or, something like that. But maybe after this year, we kind of reflect and be like, yeah, that wasn't such a good contract. He really didn't play like the money we gave him, similar to like a Kyle Duggar situation where paid Duggar all this money. And, luckily the Steelers take on his contract and boom, we don't have to deal with that anymore. But yeah, Carlton Davis has probably been the biggest disappointment free agent signing wise this year for us.
Yeah, granted that I agree. I agree 100%. Like, I don't think like if you were to give him like a 1 year, like $20 million, I would have been okay with it. But I just feel like we could have like ventured into different cornerbacks, or maybe like we could have drafted a cornerback. And Gerard asked a really good question, and I think this might be a question. But I'm not worried. I know Thomas might say otherwise about Carlton Davis because he is recovered from that injury. But he asked do we need a new cornerback? Potentially, we might need a new cornerback. Why you're shaking your head, Thomas? Explain why, please.
It's just because I think the cornerback depth is fine where it is as of right now. And like Carlton Davis is on the bargain where he has he's sluggish because he has to battle that injury. I just don't see a cornerback as a need for at this point. More like linebacker, edge rusher, corner. We're fine as we is, in my opinion.
Yeah, we can disagree on the thing, but in my opinion, we might need a cornerback because Carlton Davis is not like a long-term issue at this point, and I think that Carlton Davis is more like a Band-Aid to me. Like, if you were to get like Carlton Davis or maybe like Austin Terrell, I would look into the draft. I'm a huge Tacario Davis guy. I wish we would have got Tacario Davis, but he decided to return to Texas. It would be nice if we can get a cornerback either day 2. I would say day 2 at minimum. Because I know day 1, we might look into edge rusher and linebacker at this point, or maybe right tackle. Because there's so much unknown at this point with edge rush, because I think edge rusher depth needs a bit of tweaking. Linebacker in coverage needs a whole lot of tweaking. Right tackle, you might need Morgan Moses is playing good, but you might need a rookie left tackle, to be under the tutelage of Morgan Moses. Because people might say otherwise because of Caden Walls. I haven't seen anything from Caden Walls at this point. I'm sorry. And then people might say we needed a wide receiver 1. Okay. Or maybe we need a new tight end. Okay. When you think about it, Austin Hooper is he's on a 1-year deal. You need a new tight end. And then Hunter Henry is going to be heading to his final year of his deal. So when you look at this, you might think we need a new tight end. Not like Gronk caliber, but something more of like a George Kittle or maybe something like that. But let's get to all of your cornerback. I was thinking like Tacario Davis from Texas. That's one of them. The other cornerback, San Diego State, like Chris Johnson from San Diego State. But we will get to all of these draft sooner than later. It's too early to talk about draft, but it's nice to talk about like which key positions we want to look at. But let's now get to your questions and then we'll get to our winners and losers. But let's take a look at some of your other questions. Why were so many people panicking when one of you can answer this? This is from Gerard. Why were so many people panicking when the Browns were barely up at halftime? I have zero clue. There's just
I would probably say it's because Patriots Nation has been spoiled with how great of a dynasty the Patriots were with Tom Brady, and now it's like we've gone through some ups and downs over recent years. Like people born after 2000 really don't understand what losing is. If you're a Pats fan from back in the 80s, you understand the ebbs and flows of it all. I mean, we were a bottom tier team back then that, had good players, but never could really push over the edge. We made a Super Bowl. We lost to the Bears, made a Super Bowl with Drew Bledsoe, and we lost to the Packers. Like, it was a lot of up and down. And then we had, greatness for so long. I feel like everybody expects every game to be as perfect as when Brady was here. Because when you would watch Brady, he made maybe one mistake every other game. Like, they played nearly flawless football. And it's like they would always score opening drive. They would always score before half. They would double dip, scoring right after half. Like, the execution of those football teams were far superior to what we're seeing. And I think it's just growing pains. We have a lot of work to get to that. But people have these expectations of, like, we're supposed to live up to what Brady and those teams were able to produce in just, the first year of a new regime. It's just not realistic. People just need to temper their expectations, stay cool. There's a whole game to play. I can't tell you how many times I've gone on the Pats Global Discord and we're not even like 4 minutes in and people are saying they want to die and, oh, the season's over and this team's ass. And then, 5 minutes later, they're like, wow, this is the best team ever. I love this team. It's like, make up your mind.
I agree with you 100%. It's like, I'm going to quickly answer this and then we'll get to NJ's next question. I don't get it with this fan base at this point. It's like, you got like 10% of this fan base who's at least realistic and knows what it feels like to be in the shit. But then you got like 90% of this team that being like, oh, we're making a big deal over little things that generally don't mean anything at this point. Like, I would rather see at least some optimism at this point, not like, like all these like chickens, like with their heads cut off. Like, they don't know pain. And I agree, Tyler, they don't know pain. Like, if you watch the Boston Celtics, for example, we have like 18 banners. People don't realize how we need to rebuild and how they had to draft Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and how and year after year, they had to construct this roster. You can say the same thing with the Bruins, but then again, the Bruins are a mess of itself. We won't get to there. But what I'm trying to say is, to summarize it, Patriots have been in this dynasty for so many years. People really need to realize that. What is it, Thomas?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead before I say it here.
No, I was going to say, the Patriots, at some point, it's not going to be like, we're going to be this dynasty forever. There will be some breaking moments. There will be some, like, painful moments. So, it's going to suck eventually. But, yes, NJ, Bruins are not a serious team. Like, come on. I don't like their general manager.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I want to add to the fire at this point for Patriots fans. Look, like, I'm sorry here. This is not the dynasty era anymore, boys. Come on. We're at this stage here. We're still in a rebuilding stage, and we're rebuilding fine. Like sure we can make the play. We can rebuild. Sure we can make the fucking playoffs. Sure as hell that we could make the playoffs, but can we actually go to the Super Bowl like we did in the dynasty era? No. We don't even have the, like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We do not have Tom Brady. We got Drake May. We do not have Randy Moss or any other receivers. We got Keyshawn Booty. We still got Stephon Diggs. We still got some good players. But what I do understand is fuck our fan base. Always complain, bitch, and moan on the when we lose games. Like, guys, this is not 2002, 2003 to 2019, 19. This is 2025. The year that we had our third year of rebuilding Patriots football. And yes, we may lose games. We cannot be the gods of football like what we had before. If we win games, we win games. If we lose games, we lose games. I don't understand. People are bitching and moaning on the losing games like this here. Like, we're not better than Kansas City, in my opinion. We're not better than the Colts. We're sure as hell not better than the other AFC teams in a whole conference. We're not better than the Bucks. We're not better than the Packers. We're sure as hell, in my opinion, we're not better than the Rams. We're not better than the teams we face in the NFC. I'm sorry. We're just not even close to be a good team yet. We're getting up there, but we're not even close to be the best team out of all the teams we face in the whole National Football League. And the fans need to know this at this point. If fans keep complaining about the Patriots team losing every time here, guys, this is 2025. Not 2002, not 2003, sure as hell, not 2018-19, where we won our recent Super Bowl. When we win if we win games, we win games. If we lose games, we lose games. Just face the facts here. Like, I'm sorry. This is a fact of life for us Patriots fans.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Tyler mentions a really good point that everything changes in the fourth quarter. Like, why is everybody moaning and groaning within the first quarter? Like, shouldn't we know that this team always starts slow and then at least make adjustments in the second half? I would rather see us making adjustments in the second half than dominating within the first half. It's nice to dominate in the first half. I'm not gonna lie, but if we make adjustments in the second half, That is more important than seeing fans bitching and moaning in the first quarter, for goodness sakes.
If I can just piggyback off what Austin said, I saw some complete dumbass comment. It said something like really like murder the whole team, or it really was like that. And I'm like, what?
Unalive this team.
Like, huh?
Unalive, which is a safe word for that M word at this point.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm sorry. All right. Forget I
Continue
said
with
that.
your take.
But no, they did. Let me just rephrase it then. They said something really bad, and I was like, no, that's like not okay. Like it's gotten to the realm of inappropriate with first quarter comments in that chat during these football games. And I mean, do I get it? Yes, because even though I'm 36, I grew up with the dynasty. I don't remember when the Pats really sucked back in the 80s and the 90s, but I mean, yeah, it's just, do I think we get to the playoffs? Yes, but on the other hand, we have a very young team and they are still growing, and it is what it is. Will it surprise me if we lose another couple of games here? No. But I do, like I said earlier, I do think that pass defense has to step up early in the first quarter these next 2 to 3 games.
Yeah, for sure. Also, sorry, Gerard. Sorry, Tyler. Let's make sure that this channel doesn't get demonetized after that little comment. But I think we should be fine. I don't think we care. But I don't know. But let's now head over to the final segment of this channel. And you know what you're all waiting for. Everybody, please make sure, if you haven't already, smash the like button. Hit subscribe. It's completely free. And it helps us support the channel in a massive way possible. Turn on the bell notifications. Share this with all your friends. And scan this QR code for the Patriots Clubhouse Discord. We want new fans. We want new people joining our monthly giveaways to get these free cards and whatever else we have in our arsenal that you guys can get. But yeah, let's now head over, and everyone can participate. Even everybody in the chat can participate. Winners and losers from this Patriots-Browns game. Let's talk about it. Let's start with you, Andy, Austin, Thomas, and then me. Different, though. It's going to be a little tricky, though. But what are your winners and losers, offensively, defensively, and potentially special teams?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough pick after really, for all intents and purposes, well-rounded game. For offense, I will have to go with, oh brother. I know this is, actually, let me start on defense. I'm going to say Robert Spillane. That was finally a breakout game for him. You know, he's been coming onto the scene these past few weeks, and he finally got the pick. And we got points off of that pick. So he is putting himself on the scene as a guy who has played under Mike Vrabel. For offense, I am going to have to, I'm going to pick between 3 or 4 guys here. I'm going to go Steph Diggs, and it's for a simple reason. Yeah, he only had 14 receiving yards, but like I said, I was just so excited when he got that touchdown, and it was, good for him. I know the team never said that in as many words, but I know they wanted him to get that score, and he wanted to get that score. So, those are my winners, Spillane and Diggs. My loser on offense has to be Ramondre Stevenson. And it's partly because Trevion Henderson was more of a factor, as I've wanted to see him for weeks, as I know other Pats fans have wanted to see him for a long time. But Ramondre Stevenson, he had 14 attempts for 34 yards. He only had 2.4 yards a carry and 1 reception. Yeah, that was partly the Cleveland run defense keeping him down, but it's still him, being too cautious with the ball. And I think it was Thomas said earlier, it was Austin. We want to be able to run the ball, to open up the pass, and to just get, to keep the defense going and rolling. So he's my loser on offense. On defense, I'm gonna have to go to my default loser on defense and say Carlton Davis. It's the guy. He hasn't lived up to, I don't want to say the hype, but he hasn't lived up to what we signed him for, to what we brought him in here for, to be the backup opposite Christian Gonzalez. And Marcus Jones has been playing better than he has. So I'm just going with the simple one there. That's it. Dow, you're muted.
Sorry, I was gonna ask Gerard, which Williams are you talking about? Are you talking about Milton Williams, or are you talking about? Okay. How about you, Austin? And yes, I did rename the segment from winners and losers to Musket Men and Misfires. You're welcome, Austin.
Cool. So my offensive winner has to be Mac Hollins. 7 receptions, 89 yards, just proved to be very reliable on every drive out there, it seemed, whether it was him getting the ball or it was him just, laying a block or just, running his routes efficiently. And he seems to be having some clear chemistry with May, and he's just, it almost seems like he's become Drake May's kind of underrated weapon. He's not making crazy flashy plays, but he's just been, I'd almost compare it to Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, where he's just a reliable target out there, which is really what you're looking for. And I think he had his best game of the season. So that's my winner for offense. I guess because it's too hard to find special teams, I would just say Drake May is another winner. He was efficient, explosive, and calm under pressure. 3 touchdown passes, obviously the 1 pick, but he really brushed it off, and I was really happy with how he played moving forward. And just I feel like this was a breakout performance even with the pick, and it's just it feels like every week's a breakout performance. He just keeps getting better and better, and he is so good and so fun to watch. It is so refreshing watching good football, but also having a franchise quarterback again. And my third winner would be Robert Spillane. He led the team in tackles with, I believe, 14, and he snagged an interception. He's just been a real tone setter over the middle. He was a big part in shutting down Cleveland's run game, holding Judkins to, I think it was 18 yards, which is crazy because coming into that game, Judkins had back-to-back 100-plus yard rushing with multiple touchdowns a game. So just a huge player. My losers, Ramondre Stevenson, 14 carries for 34 yards, very limited impact. I mean, he could have not suited up that game, and I wouldn't have known the better. He just was very irrelevant, and that's something that they just need to do a better job of, is kind of game planning both Stevenson and Henderson to be able to run the ball and work together. My second loser would be our red zone execution. I kind of went with a group of it because for those of you that don't know, we were 2 for 6 inside the 20, which is terrible. Terrible. We had to settle for field goals instead of touchdowns, kept the game really close early. Luckily, Andy Borregales came in clutch with 3 of those field goals to give us the edge before half. And, the rest is history. We went on and just kind of pummeled the Browns. And I guess if I had to nitpick a third one, I would have just said ball security. I just want Henderson to hold on to that ball. I just want Drake May to, make a better decision when trying to throw over the middle into a tight window. But overall, it's hard to really nitpick these games. You're really kind of grasping for straws. But those are my winners and losers, or in this case, musket men and misfires.
Yeah, that should be the name moving forward throughout the second half of the Patriots MayeFlower Voyage. But how about you, Thomas?
Well, as a matter of fact, I got a soundbite for my winner on offense. So prepare yourself here. My offensive winner, aka Musketman, is by none other than because of that touchdown. Because of that touchdown. Let me get the stats again. He got 3 receptions, 75 yards, touchdown, 25 yards per average at the average. The dude is like literally one of Drake May's favorite receivers this season, besides Stephon Diggs, which again, for a 31-year-old, 400 plus yards, which is best for a guy who just came back from injury. But Keyshawn Booty, probably the best receivers we ever had here, the 6th-round pick out of LSU. That product which I was not a big fan of here, but Booty literally lived up to the hype. So Keyshawn Booty is my musket man for the offense. But I cannot. But another musket man for the offense. Obviously, Drake May, our franchise quarterback, as we speak. Like he's up there, like in the MVP conversation, but I don't think he's an MVP winner yet, in my opinion. But I'm happy that he played well. 282 yards, almost 300. We'll see a 300-yard game soon from him. 3 touchdowns, that 1 pick, not his fault, because he literally had to throw over the line and literally intercepted by one of the defensive guys, so not his fault there. But I have another offensive winner, and this is for Morgan Moses in general. He protected the right side of the line really well, in my opinion. So I gotta give flowers to Morgan at this point. That the old guy we have on the offensive line on the right side. The right side of the offensive line did its job compared to what we saw on the left side. I'm not throwing shades at the offensive line for allowing 6 sacks, which people in the chat say the loser is the offensive line. Not gonna do that. Not happening, my friends. No. So my winner on defense, however, is Jalen Hawkins. That interception has been electrifying. Those tackles he made really contribute to this game. He played his breakout game ever since he came back from injury. Really happy to see him back. So yeah. My loser on offense, I hate to be the person. I hate to be the person around here. My loser is Terrell Jennings. Because I'm sorry, I know he used twice at this point. I think he needs to be used more than what I hope on a third back. So I just feel like Jennings should have been used more here at this point. Trevion and Stevenson play well better than Jennings. And my loser on defense, it's not gonna go Carlton Davis again. Instead, I hate to be the person again. Richie Grant, the guy we got from the practice squad. The penalty he had on the special teams at this point, he did not contribute at this rate. So I'm sorry, Richie Grant, you're the loser of this game.
Interesting. Here are my.
Who was your last guy, Thomas? Sorry.
Richie Grant, the new safety we got from the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he didn't strike me as one. But let's talk about my musket men and misfires. My musket men on offense. It has to be it has to be the tight ends. It's tight end day. Austin Hooper balled out. Like, I agree. My Collins played well. I agree Kayshon Boutte played well. I agree that Drake May play well. What about our tight ends? It's National Tight End Day. Hunter Henry got his touchdown. Austin Hooper balled out. This is like his second revenge game. Next game will be his official revenge game. And here's why. Austin Hooper is going up against the team that drafted him.
And played in Super Bowl 51.
And this is big.
He had a touchdown in that game.
And that is big for Austin Hooper. So I think I would say the tight ends were my winner. My musket men. My musket men on defense, I agree, it's also Spillane. I think that time goes on, he's shown that he's a captain and he's more. Actually, I lied. Spillane, I agree. I'm gonna go something different. I'm going somewhere different. I'm going Christian Gonzalez as my musket man on defense. And here is why. Granted that Davis didn't look well. When he was targeted 7 times, 0 completions when targeting Christian Gonzalez. And that says a lot about Christian Gonzalez. Like, this was like his best tackling game from Christian Gonzalez. Like, no one, he's not even talked a lot. And that is great from our cornerback one. And I love Gonzo. I've always been a Gonzo supporter ever since we drafted him. I love his
Same.
So I think my musket man is Gonzo. He's underrated. My loser on offense, I agree it's Ramondre Stevenson, but I'm going to actually go somewhere different. Michael Onwenu. He did not help. He did not help Morgan Moses any other way. Like, I have no idea what's going on with Michael Onwenu, but he needs to get his act together. I could have also gone Jared Wilson too, because he should have helped Will Campbell in any other way, but it's between Jared Wilson and Michael Onwenu as my losers for the guards, because they could do a better job with like the pass blocking and stopping Myles Garrett. But then again, it is what it is. My misfire from defense, it's going to have to be Marte Mapu. Marte Mapu showed me nothing once again. It didn't mean he played bad or didn't mean he played good. He just showed me nothing. He didn't like show out in any other way possible. And I think we need to see more out of Marte Mapu. But granted that his PFF score was not good, but we shall see. We shall see if Marte Mapu can bounce back.
Now you agree? But you said the right side that it needs help here. But you agree with me that Morgan Moses did his job on that game?
I agree Morgan Moses did a job, but he's Michael went. Our guards need to do a better job, though. Our guards need to do a better job. I think the guards need to do a better job, though.
Yes.
Very funny, DF. The best mod. I like Cook as our winning. Wait, wrong show. Kidding. Just having fun, guys. Cook. We're gonna have to play Cook again week 15. Don't worry. We will make sure that if we can adapt. But that's gonna be it, guys. And thank you so much as always for joining another edition of the Patriots MayeFlower Voyage presented by the Patriots Clubhouse. If you haven't already, smash the like button, hit subscribe. It's completely free, and it helps us grow significantly here at this channel, and we appreciate the support. Share this with all of your friends. Turn on them bell notifications, and scan this QR code for our Patriots Clubhouse Discord. For there, you will introduce yourself, give us your name, age, how long you became a Patriots fan for, how long you were a Patriots fan, what was your favorite moment as a Patriots fan, and favorite player outside of Tom Brady. Here in that new Discord, we want new members to take part of our monthly giveaways. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
let's go, Pats.
Go Pats.
Go Pats. Hey!